What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. In today's video, we are going to go ahead and talk about all of the characters that Global is currently missing that we are going to be receiving starting from now up until, probably January, right? Probably till the end of January. We should have everything by then, just according to the scheduling that has been given to us in game. That's what we are expecting. Now, shout out to Chauzu, who has actually created this infographic, I guess, to give us a bit of information as to what we should be expecting for the next month or two. So definitely shout out to him for this one. I'll leave his links to his stuff down below in the description of the video. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll talk about these units and discuss, even some of the summonable units as well, and discuss whether or not they're kind of worth it. So let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully it's not too long of a video, but we'll kind of just jam through it, right? We've got Arena Caesar. It's coming out tomorrow as of the recording of this video. I'm not too sure when this video is going to go live, but Arena Caesar, of course, there's more arenas coming soon, which we will talk about. Then we have this one right here, which we know is going to be coming on the 8th of December 1900 PST time, which is going to be V2 Borsalino or Kizaru, as well as the brand new Pirate Rumble Rare Recruit Moria. These two characters, we've already discussed them. Go ahead and check out the YouTube video on the channel if you want to know more information about them. But these characters are pretty interesting. I think Kizaru is a really good legend, but he is limited to Pirate Rumble banners. So, you have to spend gems outside of the big banners in order to get him, which is a bit unfortunate. Unless if you somehow get really lucky on a PvP ticket during an event period, then you might have an opportunity to get this character. So over here on the database, we can have a look at the brand new other characters that are going to be arriving for the next treasure map Sugarfest. We have this one right here, this Tashigi. By the way, all three of these brand new treasure map characters that are coming out for Global this December are all amazing. So we have a Tashigi unit, like she has a good all these characters actually have amazing special abilities with utility, but then you've also got their amazing support effects attaching to Strength Slasher. If they use a special, reduce Rainbow Shield by 2 turns, really good. And then you've got Makino, who is another strength unit, another great special ability, and then the support, Strength Free Spirit character, if they use a special, reduce increased defense by 2 turns. And then you got the Hina character, which is again very similar, good special, Int Striker support, and if they use a special, reduce threshold by 2 turns. So each of them remove one of those key defensive effects by 2 turns, and they attach to a wide variety of characters, and it doesn't even need to be a damage dealing special. All three of these are amazing. And then below that we have the free-to-play Rumble characters, the Hody and the Wiper. We already know how good or bad free-to-play Rumble characters are, but we also know that, with Japan, they are going to be having a new one in December as well. So Global should be getting 3 free-to-play Rumble units in this December when it resets after the championship block, so keep that in mind. Now we do have the treasure map characters as well, the actual free-to-play treasure map unit. So we have Stussy, we have Moria, and then we have an unknown one which is going to be arriving on Japan in the month of December. So if we have a look at the list of treasure map characters, obviously last treasure map we had Kaido, we had Luffy, and we had Robin. This time around we have this Stussy character. I don't actually remember what this Stussy actually did. Despair and Special Bind by 4 turns, Color Affinity of Strength, Shooter, and Cerebral by 1.75. If you already have a Color Affinity, boost the effects of Color Affinity or buffs the effects of the Color Affinity by plus 0.25. 6 turn cooldown is pretty good, and she has pinch healing, okay, she's got fear resistance. That's actually pretty good, but it resists the special bind by 5 but reduces it by 4. Bandai, what are you doing? Why do you do this? I hate it so much. I hate it. But there we go. That's the new Stussy character. That's our new free-to-play character that we're all going to be farming for. And then Gecko Moria is also going to be given to us as another free-to-play character. This recently arrived on Japan. Quick-driven powerhouse. Captain effect is a 3.5, which is actually pretty good, and reduces barriers, does damage, it removes resilience and increased defense, so blue shield by 5 turns, gives you an all boost to powerhouse and driven, and if your captain is powerhouse or driven, boosts characters against poison enemies. That's really weird considering this character doesn't inflict any poison to them. Very bizarre. But it's okay, like it's a usable special. Utility plus all boost, like there's not much else you could really ask for. It's like, it's not a terrible free-to-play unit at all. And of course, we get those two characters that we talked about being Stussy and Moria, and then the other free-to-play treasure map character that is going to be arriving on Japan this month. Now just below that here you can see there is a list of the free-to-play point farming event characters. This one right here, the Morgans came out with Lucci, the CP0 Lucci. We had the Brook, which came out with the Halloween celebration with Perona and Hancock. We also also had this Cracker, which I believe came out with the super class Katakuri and Doflamingo. We had this one right here, the Don Chinjiao, which I think also came out with the Katakuri and the Doflamingo. And then we also have this Olin, which came out just recently on Japan for the release of Jinbei and Robin dual unit and the Usopp and Nami dual unit. So we will be receiving all of these characters for free. I don't think there's going to be any event that we have to do to get them. They'll just be distributed to all of us for free, and I believe we should be given all of the materials and additional copies that we would require in order to rainbow them out. Now below that, once again, we have the brand new free-to-play characters, the Arena characters. These are also arriving on December 19th. We have the Arena Crocodile, and we also have the brand new one that just arrived as of today, as of the recording of this video, Arena Luffy. So going over to the database, the Crocodile character, an int-driven striker character with a special that does a 10% health cut. It reduces blindness and chain coefficient reduction by 7 turns. It also poisons an enemy and then poisons all other enemies. So it does a strong poison to one enemy, then regular poison to everyone else. But then it's a color affinity to int characters for 1 turn, 2 times boost. And if you do have an int captain, it will make all colored slots beneficial for 1 turn. It's a very weird special. Like, it's fine, but I feel like it's not strong enough for a free-to-play Arena character in 2021. I feel like this is a pretty weak special for one of these units. It's relatively difficult to farm out for, right? Like, the Arenas are pretty difficult pieces of content, and the fact that we get a special like this, not really a big fan of it. Obviously, he's useful for the content that came out at the time. I just don't see where else he's going to see a lot of play, honestly. But he's going to be one of the characters, but also the new Luffy, which is arriving today as of the recording of this video. And this unit's actually pretty good. He has a multi-stage special. I don't think he has... No, he doesn't have the cooldown reduction ability, but he does have Hunger, a free-to-play unit with Hunger, and it does reduce it up to 2 times at max level, so that's pretty good. But, I mean, it does a 10% health cut, it does 100% defense removal, removes poison, changes block orbs into matching, and gives you a 3.5 times chain lock for 1 turn. That's a very powerful special ability for a free-to-play unit. Of course, 17 turns is very steep, but at least on stage 2, 13 turns, which is respectable, it does a pretty similar thing, and it's a 3 times chain lock instead. Like, this unit's pretty good. I think this unit is definitely more what I was looking for a free-to-play Arena unit. So below the Arena units here, we have the biggest chunk of characters. Now this right here is every missing regular batch Sugarfest since the sync has progressed. Now, if we were going on normal scheduling, we had Rob Lucci. Rob Lucci would technically be arriving. He technically should be arriving towards the end of this month, but due to this sync process, we are going to be receiving him. We're going to be receiving the Boa Hancock and the Perona batch as well. We also have the super class Doflamingo and Katakuri, and then we also have the Usopp and Nami dual unit and the Robin and Jinbei dual unit. Now, we have no confirmation as to how these characters are going to be put onto Sugarfest. We don't know if it's going to be a multi-part Sugarfest where each character is featured on each part, or if it's going to be one major Sugarfest where you can pull every single one of these units on one given part. If that is the case, this is going to be one of the biggest bait Sugarfests of all time, considering the New Year's Sugarfest is not that far away. I mean, as of the release of this, it should be December 19th, right? Like, the New Year's Sugarfest is literally like a week and a bit later, after the release of this maintenance period where the sync should be occurring. So it's going to be hard to kind of avoid this Sugarfest, considering so many new characters are going to be on it. But at the same time, you do have to think that if we are getting the New Year's Sugarfest that close to the release of these units as well, that a lot of these units are probably going to make their appearance on the New Year's banner as well, so keep that in the back of your mind. But all of these characters are pretty good units. Rob Lucci is one of the best, in my opinion, of this batch. He's a really strong unit. We've got Kaku and the Stussy, who are just okay. Then we've got the Hancock and the Perona, which is definitely a more underwhelming batch. The rare recruits for that batch weren't really that powerful either. A lot of people didn't like them. The Hancock doesn't really see a lot of play. Perona is a very interesting unit, and I think, honestly, Perona is basically like a buffed version of Super Type Katakuri, the int one. She's basically a buffed version of that, allowing you to get like a guaranteed conditional boost against the enemy, kind of like a similar thing as that. Perona's a really strong unit though. I think that she's going to see a lot of play moving forward into the future. But then after that, we have the super class Doflamingo and the super class Katakuri. I think Doflamingo probably, in the grand scheme of things, is the strongest overall character in this entire batch of characters. And then we also have Katakuri alongside that. Now, I think Katakuri is definitely the more underrated unit here. A lot of people, disregard him. He's just a basic bitch. He just does the same thing that all Katakuris kind of do, and he's only boosting powerhouse characters. But at the end of the day, he is still boosting powerhouse characters, which is still one of the best classes in the game. Katakuri does do a lot of damage. It's just the fact that we have a lot of other characters that you can just use instead of him. But then again, there's not many superclass characters in the game, and getting access to superclass is going to be a huge thing. So, it's nice that he is here alongside Doflamingo. So then we move on from the amazing superclass characters to the underwhelming Usopp and Nami. Unfortunately, one of the most poorly designed units that we've had in 2021. Lots of problems with this unit. Yeah, you can kind of cheese content in a way, but honestly speaking, no, this is not a character that's going to be blowing anything away. Then we've also got the Robin and Jinbei, which is also kind of like an underwhelming unit, but honestly, as time progresses, I do think that the Robin and Jinbei unit is going to be a really nice unit to have. They have great utility, they've got great usability with the Cerebral class, which is going to be getting buffed in January for us likely, so definitely look out for this unit. This unit is very, very underrated at the moment, but a lot of people are considering them to be underwhelming. Honestly, like reading them on paper, I'm not a big fan of them, but I can see where their usability will really shine. This unit is going to be really, really nice moving forward. So below that whole batch of brand new Sugarfest characters, we do have the Kizuna stuff to look forward to. It is confirmed in-game right now that the Kizuna Sugarfest, or the Kizuna event even, is going to be starting on the 22nd. Now, that does open up the door of, is the Kizuna Sugarfest going to be starting around the same time, December 19th? Or is that going to be starting maybe the 20th, the 21st? We don't know how it's going to be working, or like even if there's the Sugarfest debuts on the 22nd and then the event starts on the 23rd, I'm not too sure how it's going to be working. I'm pretty sure the event itself starts on the 22nd, which would mean that the Sugarfest should be starting prior to that point. Now, the thing is December 19th is the sync schedule point, meaning that any event that happens on Japan after December 19th, Global will receive. This means that whatever Kizuna Sugarfest is on Japan, Global will have the same one, meaning that, we have this Bon Clay here, who was the summonable character for the Ivankov Kizuna, and then the free-to-play Buggy. These characters are not going to be our boss characters. Same along here, Don Krieg was the recent one that arrived on Japan for their super boss. Global is not going to be getting that as our main boss character. Whatever the main boss character is on Japan, it's going to be the same one on Global, so that is why these characters are considered like question marks. We don't know what they are going to be yet. Whether there is a character for the Sugarfest, I would expect there to be the character on the Sugarfest, and then whatever the free-to-play unit is going to be as well. Going in line with the same thing as the Kizuna Clash, all of the other super evolutions that we were missing will also debut on that same event for the Global players. We've got Carrot, we've got Jack, and also Pudding. I think Carrot is easily the best one of these three. Carrot gets a really good 6+, definitely making up for some of the flaws of the unit, which unfortunately some of the super evolutions don't do, but I think they did a really good job with what Carrot actually does. Jack is basically just bigger numbers, like nothing really amazing with him, and Pudding is definitely one of the most underwhelming super evolutions of 2021 because they didn't really change that much. They made her numbers in her captain multiplier slightly higher, and now she boosts Psi and Int characters instead of just Int. And they gave her a Bind and Despair removing special. That's it, like 2 turns of Bind and Despair. That's it. It was just a very bizarre special, very bizarre changes that they decided to do for this unit. Very underwhelming, but we don't know if there's going to be an additional super evolution character in the month of December. I would hope there's going to be, because it would be awesome to get a super evolution character on the same time as Japan. That would be really, really cool, so look out for that. And then of course, after December 22nd, we should be moving into the New Year's event, which of course we don't know what that is currently, but that is going to be, around the 26th, 27th, 28th, in that bracket should be the actual release of that Sugarfest. And of course, once the information drops, I'll bring you guys a video regarding all of that. So this is another very, very interesting one to talk about. Now we're moving into January. So after the New Year's event has concluded, we have the Pirate Rumble Sugarfest. This is a pretty big one because we have so many new characters debuting at once. We have Legend Kuma, obviously one of the most underwhelming characters to have released in 2021, should be arriving in January for Global, but alongside that we have the Arlong, we have the Smoothie, the Strusen, the Kobe, and the Ohm. Out of all of these characters, the ones to look out for, I think Arlong is okay-ish. okay-ish. Kuma is also okay in PvP, not very good in regular content. Smoothie, I think, is actually a very good unit in PvP. She has lots of stats going on. The Strusen is whatever. I don't actually remember what the Kobe did, but Ohm recently released on Japan, or is going to be releasing on Japan, and he has an amazing set of skills. He's basically like a pseudo-legend Moria in PvP, so you can have this guy, Moria, and Yamato all on the same team in PvP. Pretty crazy team combination, so look out for that. I do think that's going to be kind of interesting to see how players kind of abuse this unit, and if there is another character that debuts in January for Japan, Global will also receive that during the month of January as well. Also, something massive that's going to be happening in January is the Treasure Map Sugarfest. Now, this is so big because there's a lot of characters here. Actually, there might be more characters here than the regular Legend batch up there. But the thing about it is we have so many characters, different batches, right? We've got all the Onigashima stuff here with the Straw Hats that came out with Onigashima Luffy, the free-to-play unit, around the time that Yamato released. We have the Halloween stuff with the Treasure Map Legend Koala, as well as the Treasure Map Legend Crocodile. These two TM Legends are going to be on this banner, so that's going to be the first time global players will ever get a chance to potentially pull for these units, and that's awesome. And if there is another TM Legend that either comes out this month or next month, in the month of January after that, then yeah, people will be able to pull for those units as well on this banner. I think the Treasure Map Sugarfest might be one of the best banners over the next couple of months, so definitely look out for that one. And then to kind of round out the rest of this video here, we have with the Kizuna Sugarfest that debuts in January. Now we have the other missing characters that we'll be receiving, including the Onigashima Robin, the Frankie, the Usopp, and the Chopper. All of these characters debuted alongside the Onigashima celebration, of course. We had this Viola that came out during Halloween with the Strength Rebecca boss, and then we also have the Buggy and the Kuro during the Luffy versus Villains event with the Katakuri Doflamingo Crocodile kind of celebrations, right? But then whatever comes out in January as well, Global will get this from whatever happens on Japan, because the Kizuna Sugarfest is being split up into two separate parts where we kind of get half units here, half units in January, which is fine. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. And then of course we still need to receive this support Sugarfest character, this Mihawk that came out randomly during one of the months. So yeah, we do need to receive this guy at some point. Not really too sure when that's going to be happening. But all of that being said, that is all of the missing characters that Global will be receiving and when we will be receiving them. So of course, the main thing is, like, obviously we're getting the PvP stuff, then the TM stuff, the free-to-play Rumble stuff, of course, and then of course the point farming event. December 19th is a big day because of these point farming characters, the arenas, and a whole new batch of characters. And then a few days after that, we have the Kizuna as well, we have the 6+, then we got New Year's to look forward to, and then obviously January onwards we have a bunch of missing characters that will be given to us. But then after January, we should be 100% caught up with Japan, and everything that happens on Japan will be happening to Global as well. So hopefully this gives you a bit of insight, and once again, thank you very much to Chauzu for providing us this infographic to kind of discuss this in a little bit of an easier manner. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and let me know down below in the comment section which of these missing characters are you looking forward to the most. And of course the New Year stuff is going to be really big, but is there any of these missing characters that you're really looking forward to, ones that you really want to hone in on? Because honestly, like, there's a lot of really cool characters here. I mean, I'd love to get this Ohm, this Smoothie as well. Some of these Treasure Map characters, I love TM Crocodile, he's so good. And then of course the Dofi and Katakuri, I love those units too. But like, all these legends look super cool. I mean, except for Usopp and Nami, no one really cares about them. But anyways, that is going to wrap up this video today. Thank you so much for watching, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.